Welcome to our NIST 800-53 control family overview. Today we are talking about supply chain risk management. This control family outlines the controls for procedures like vetting your contractor or suppliers, review of their records, authentication of the parts being provided, and really is a backbone of any interaction with suppliers and contractors that an organization might face. Everything that we have passes through hands of someone else. I was talking with a friend of mine that works at airplanes as part of the airplane maintenance team, and he was talking about just all the different vetting processes and inspection processes that accompany those airline parts or aircraft parts. And it makes sense, right? We are putting our trust in a complex machine such as an airplane to get us safely off the ground, but then again once back on the ground.
Define irony. Bunch of idiots dancing on a plane to a song made famous by a band that died in a plane crash.
I remember I was flying in a small Cessna plane up in northern Wisconsin, and looking out my right window, I started counting all the different rivets that were in that airplane wing and just thinking, those are all a bunch of little tiny parts that are keeping this thing together, but working in tandem to do so. And that's why this control family is so vitally important. Regardless of your industry or your organization size, every single organization has outside suppliers. These controls really help solidify and safeguard your organization with things such as a supply chain risk management plan, which outlines your team, how communication happens. You tailor your plans and making sure that it fits, focusing on the most critical mission and business functions for your organization, and then assess the risk tolerance. It's important to have a diverse supply base so that you have multiple options to get the resources that you need, whether they are raw materials or hardware or software. You want to have a few options. When I was talking with my friend that works in the airlines, they have hundreds of different supply houses and contractors all throughout the world. And that's to ensure that if one is compromised or if one suffers a catastrophic event and shuts down their operations, that your operations aren't affected, that you can continue with your mission and your goals. You want to make sure that your contractors or suppliers know what is required of them, including stating that contractually. And within that contract, there should be something for inclusion of a sub-tiered flow down. What does that mean? It means that your contractors or suppliers are held to the standard that you have set for them, and that they in turn with their suppliers or contractors hold those organizations or those entities to the same standard. There's a portion of this control family that covers provenance, or maybe a better way of thinking it is tracking, that you can track and document the origin and the path of the supplies that are coming to you, verifying the authenticity and the integrity of the products that you acquire. Within that, there's acquisition strategies, tools, and methods, making sure that they are coming from trusted suppliers. You may trust your supplier, but you want to make sure that you can trust your supplier's supplier, and that you're not receiving counterfeit parts or parts that are going to break and fail. And you want to employ methods like risk assessments or vendor assessments, making sure that on a fairly habitual basis, you are checking the compliance of your contractor, of your supplier, with those contracts that were signed, with those agreements that are in place. And that is part of the supplier vetting. It's not just a one-time thing. Another thing within this control family is supply chain OPSEC, or operations security. When you enter into agreement with your supplier or contractor, you are also sharing some of your information, whether it be your user information in the contact that they have at your organization, or some product information if they're helping design something from an existing product, or perhaps some of your processes, even just how you go about securing contracts. Those are things that you are sharing with them, and it's important to have those things safeguarded and controls in place as well to protect you and your organization. And in the controls around agreements, there is the notification agreement that I wanted to highlight as well. Say there is a compromise, say there is an incident or a defect or a counterfeit product that is presented. Perhaps it's even just an assessment and an audit that takes place and has some unflattering results. Who gets to make that information known and perhaps how it is made known is important. There needs to be very firm and clear wording about the components or products that you're receiving. Its inspection, its authenticity, all of which are vitally important and all of which have controls that are covered in this control family. The controls in this control family are widely known and implemented by critical infrastructure industries or organizations, but they apply to any organization that acquires software, hardware, or services from an external source. Making sure that you are kept secure and safeguarded, and making sure that your suppliers are held to the same high standard that you have for your organization.